Yay Media Group.
Jeff didn't bring, y'all aren't going to think this is funny. Jeff didn't bring your sunglasses.
I was just going to say, is that the same trip where I was blind on the beach? I literally couldn't see. I was like blinded by the light, literally.
It's all I kept hearing. Like, he was like, I got to go get glasses. I can't see. Hey guys, episode 136. We are doing a part 2. And you know what I forgot to change my shirt? I spilled my AG1 on my shirt this morning, green, and then I made a taco. And I saw there was like sauce down here and I spilled it. I looked at myself today and I was like, my hair's greasy. It's sticking out. Like a mess over here.
I always know, like on a rough Sunday, when you have a rough night out on a Saturday night and you're just watching whatever, and then you look down and half your meals are on your shirt. And I'm just like, dude, I got to make some changes.
You got like, you'll see less.
That's where you're at right now. But you know what? Jordan never cooks, and she made these tacos in the crock pot, and they were amazing. It was like shredded chicken.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I was shocked, really Jeff.
And the kids even ate it.
Yeah, this shredded chicken. I might make it again tomorrow. It's stuff for tacos. I did good. My friend called me this morning. She's the person I always talk to every single morning after, like as soon as the kids get out of the car, one of us is calling each other. And she's like, whoa, you're on top of it this morning. Because I was like, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm getting stuff, and I cooked.
Yeah, and Jordan never cooks, but get yourself a good crock pot recipe and get after it.
I don't like cooking because I have you. And
I enjoy
you're
it.
Good.
I enjoy it.
And with sports, it's easy to have like a crock pot or like like Factor meals. I love Factor meals. Those
Factors are good,
so good.
It's better than I hate like eating, like you always get the kids fast food. I can't stand that.
I know. I'm trying to make changes.
Yeah.
And it's just with sports, it's easy just to stop and just get something and then come home and then they eat and it's like, okay, get showers and you just get into that routine. So it's just crock pots. It's nice.
Yeah.
Actually, my friend gave me that recipe today.
Well, you get like good chicken that's like organic if you can.
I only get my chicken at Whole Foods.
Yeah. So you're getting good chicken. I know it's a little bit more costly, but I really do. I don't know where we're at with like figuring out like what processed foods do to your body, but there's something going on that isn't great with our food, and I don't know, I don't want to get into all that stuff, but I really do there's something about processed foods that isn't good for you, and I'm really starting to worry about my health as I get older, and especially for the kids to get them started off on the right path. Not saying if you don't get your kid McDonald's once in a while or a treat once in a while, it's fine. But when you start making that routine and a habit, it's going to affect their body. It's going to affect, I don't even know, there's not science on it yet, but longevity and things like that. It's just, there's so many even documentaries about where people live the longest, and it's all about what they're eating and putting in their body. And if you're putting all that processed shit in your body all the time, I understand sometimes people can't afford it, but as much as you could try to not make that an everyday thing. You're getting bored with my...
No. I gotta yawn because my ears, I can't hear. And if I yawn, it'll pop. I feel like I'm on an airplane right now and my ears they need to be popped.
Why don't you hold your nose and go?
Because if I yawn, I like yawning.
Oh, well, I thought you were yawning for my story.
No.
But anyways, let's get into it. Last episode, we were talking about Vanderpump Rules, probably too much. But what I like about that, and then maybe having them on the show sometime, is like you could jump right into their life and kind of say things about their life, which they don't know who you are. And the only reason I'm saying that is because people could jump. That's happened so much to me that people just are like, hey, do you remember when you and Jordan did this? Like I was just, went back home to Chicago this past weekend, and I was at the airport bar, which I love meeting people at the airport bar. If you ever see me at an airport bar, definitely come say hi to me. And some guy's like, hey man, are you Jeff? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, shout out to this guy, Jazz, or Jazz? I think it's Jazz. Yeah, Jezz. Because I'm like, oh, I'm Jeff. You're Jay. I'm like, that's cooler than Jeff. He's like, no, it's not. But whatever. We were talking. He goes, my wife listened to your podcast. So thanks for listening to the podcast. I forgot his wife's name. But we were just talking and he just like, oh, I remember when you guys did this. And I was sitting there for a half hour having a beer and just talking, but we talked so much, just not about Big Brother, but it made us like friends immediately. Cause he's like, I know you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. I watched the show and my wife listened to the podcast. Then we just talked about our families and homes and living in different areas and stuff. But it kicks off the conversation, you know? And it's just weird when people come up to me because they're like, I know so much about you and I know you don't know me, but it makes the conversation so much easier. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I guess, because you look like how you did on Big Brother, just grayer. People, I feel like, just spot you.
I don't know how they do. Maybe if they hear me talking or something. I don't know.
Maybe because you're loud.
But that's definitely happened. Like people like at Home Depot have like looked over the aisle or like, you know, just like where you're paying the register. And they're like, I thought that was you. And then I heard you talk.
It blows my mind. Like 16 years later,
it blows my mind.
You would somebody recognize. I mean, because that doesn't happen to me at all.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
What are you talking about?
For podcast, people come up to me about our podcast.
Yeah, that's
but
becoming,
they didn't watch. Yeah, they didn't watch Big Brother. They're just like, "Oh, you're the podcast girl." So I get that.
That's nice too.
I like that. I like that more.
Yeah, but I don't mind it. I don't mind. It's still. I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting very appreciative about things, and it does. You know,
you're always appreciative about things.
Yeah, but it's like, it just shocks me and blows my mind. So I understand when people are like, oh my God, because I'm like, I do the same thing with like Vanderpump people. If I saw one of them, I'd be like, hey dude, could I get a picture? You know what I mean? I would just be a fan because I watched the show.
Tried when you were in LA and you got snobbed.
Did I tell that story?
I did. Yeah, you did.
So anyways, if you haven't heard the story,
Jeff's feelings were hurt.
No, I don't know. It was. That wasn't my feelings were hurt, but it could have been something bigger. Which that's what I was mad about. So I was working for Daily Blast Live at the time. They flew me out to go interview NSYNC because they were getting their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But they ended up not doing any interviews. But Lance was an old friend of ours, ironically through Big Brother. And so he came over and gave me a quick interview, which was so nice of him. So we covered the whole thing and did that. And then we were right across the street. I forgot the hotel, the Lowe's that we were staying at. Something on Hollywood Boulevard right there. So me and one of the producers were just having lunch in there. And it was just us two. And so I was just sitting I think we were sitting at the bar, just having lunch, eating a salad. And Kristen Doty from Vanderpump Rules walks in and she's a big fan. The producer I was with is a big fan. Yeah. And I go, is that Kristen? She was asking for a book of matches, you know, because she still loves her ciggies. This was actually a couple of years ago too. So it was back in the day. She has kids now, or she's pregnant now. Anyways, this was years ago. And I go, I think that's Kristen. I go, Kristen. And she's walking away and she stopped. And then she kept walking. I was like, Kristen. And she just kept walking. I'm like, oh my God, I totally got blown off by Kristen Doty. She blew me off. And then I went, like we were leaving. We had lunch and we went back out to finish up or whatever. And I saw all the girls. Like all like Brittany was there. I think the other ones.
Trust me, Jeff wanted to be right there.
Well, so they were all ripping cigs.
In the middle.
They were all ripping cigs. And I stopped smoking. I haven't had a cigarette in forever. And I was like, and I go to the producer, I'm like, that almost makes me want to go have a cigarette again, just so I could get in the conversation.
Oh my God. I can totally see that.
Yeah. But if I would have went over there, I would have been like, what's up, big fan? You know?
You know, when we got off Big Brother, and remember that like Vegas trip and you meet all these people? Remember right when we got off Big Brother?
Oh, yeah. It's that's crazy.
So for me, now this was like me when I was like 22. We get off and you're meeting all these people, reality people from different shows. And I always in high school was the biggest fan of Real World. Loved Real World. By the way, I had no idea that there was Real World Denver.
I didn't either.
I had no idea. Well, it was on Paramount Plus, and I started watching it because we live here now. So they show them at the airport, and they had a place in Lodo.
Is it the new airport?
Yeah, because
that Denver
so
airport's
old.
not super old, is it?
No, I don't think it's like super old, but they're at that airport.
Yeah.
And just seeing things around Denver. So I started watching it again. And It's funny because I'm like, I recognize that girl, but I can't remember. I feel like, there was always the crier or one with
Oh
all the,
yeah.
or the one that got really drunk and would pass out. And it was just so fun to watch it because I was a lot younger. So I sent a picture to some girls in my neighborhood who grew up here. And I was like, I never knew there was Real World Denver. And they were like, oh, yeah, it was awesome. And they said now the house that those people lived in, now it's a bar or was a bar. It might have turned over by now. But I don't know. It's like cool. But, anyways, when we got off Big Brother and I got to meet other people, I remember being so excited because there were people from the real world on or in Road Rules in Vegas. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I thought it was like so big.
Yeah.
And because I had been gone. And I remember walking through LA airport and seeing Daisy from Rock of Love. And I was obsessed with Rock of Love, Flavor Flav. I watched like all the trashy shows on VH1. And when that was the first person I saw, and I thought she was like some big celebrity, and I wanted to go up to her and take a photo with her, and I was too scared to ask. But now that I know, I wish I would have just went up and asked her because she wasn't.
Oh, she would have loved it. I would assume. I don't know.
But it's like people on shows like that, you're not big stars.
Yeah.
But when you come from North Carolina and you're in LA and you see those people, you're like, oh my gosh, it's these celebrities. And you think you can't ask for a picture, but I wish I would have back then.
Yeah. I told you that story when there was something going on at LAX. That's what I was trying to think of at LAX. And I couldn't get like even into the airport. So we had to walk and I saw this other guy walk in. I didn't know who it was. I'm like, I'm just going to, that guy's walking. I'm going to walk too. Whoever gave me a ride. And I just walked over and it was Cyrus from MTV, like back in the day, Cyrus, the bald black dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're Cyrus, right? And we just happened to be walking. And I think this was even before I was on Big Brother. I was just living in LA or going back home or whatever. And I talked to him the whole time. We walked all the way up the ramp and into the terminal. But I talked to him the whole time. But I get excited to see those people too. The first time we met Mark Long.
I was just about to say, my favorite person
the sweetest
from
dude
the
ever.
franchise. It just classy, nice guy. Loves his mom, always with like posting pictures with his family, is Mark Long. He is my favorite.
Yeah, definitely. I say this every week, but we're definitely having Mark Long on the podcast. He doesn't know it yet. But I used to go that Hooters on 3rd Street in Santa Monica. They would have the fights. So we'd go there. Every time I go to Hooters, I don't know why I never got wings. I'd get a side salad and crab legs and just drink some beers. And then the fights were on for free. And I'd see Mark there a couple times. Like he'd be down there watching the fights.
He's the nicest.
But a couple of our friends were friends with a couple of his friends, right? Or did Swain know Mark?
I think maybe Swain, because they're all around the same age. So we had this crew in LA that we ran with that we're super tight with. And
did we take a break yet?
I don't know.
Let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick break and we'll just jump right back in.
Okay. You guys know we love our AG1 and we have some huge news. AG1 just launched their next generation. It's the same scoop. It's just upgraded.
Same daily habit, but just an upgraded version of AG1. Next generation AG1.
Same single scoop once a day, but with upgraded vitamins, minerals, and probiotics. And it's clinically backed. They have seriously gone the distance to raise the standard in testing.
I love AG1 because they're always trying to upgrade their product. It just gets better and better. And we love it for years now. But now this next generation is the future, because after years of development and 4 clinical trials, they're excited to announce that AG1 Next Gen, it features upgrade probiotics and added vitamins and minerals for an even more comprehensive formula.
The Next Gen formula offers a more advanced, clinically backed formula that fills common nutrient gaps and supports gut health, all in the same easy one-day ritual.
So what should I say?
how it fits in your everyday life.
All right. So as far as our daily routine goes, there is no changes. The only changes is in AG1's new formula. We still take our daily scoop in the morning. I still like it with 6 ounces of water. I pop it in there. It's the first thing I put in my body every single day.
Me, I'm vitamin D3, K2. Love that. And just need the energy. Helps with brain fog for me. I have to drink my AG1 every single morning.
AG1 Next Gen is now one of the most clinically backed green powders. They went above and beyond the industry standard in testing and now have made a great product even better.
Now clinically backed with an advanced formula. This is the perfect time to try AG1 if you haven't yet. I have been drinking AG1 for 2 years now, and I'm so happy to be partnering with them. Jeff has also been, well, actually, you've been drinking AG1 longer than me.
Yeah, but it's never too late to get on the AG1 train.
So subscribe.
Sorry.
So subscribe today and try Next Gen of AG1. If you use our link, you will also get a free bottle of AG1 vitamin D3 K2 and an AG1 welcome kit and 5 upgraded AG1 travel packs with your first order. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/togetherness to get started with AG1's Next Gen and notice the benefits for yourself.
That's drinkag1.com/togetherness.
So we had this crew that we were tight with. And everybody either worked in production, worked in corporate, worked in anything in television.
Or on reality shows.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Or reality shows. But those people your friends were a lot older than me. I was always like the baby. But your friends were the ones that they're in their 50s now. And they were the ones back in 2000 on when reality TV was at its height.
Well, Rob and Swain, our friends now, our good friends, they won season 1 of The Amazing Race. Then Alex Boylan, if you guys do follow us for a long time, he's my good friend. Him and his buddy won season 2 of The Amazing Race.
And then Alex's friend, Burton, was on Survivor. And then Burton had a friend. And then in that, how we met Mikey B, and he was on Survivor, and he was a great guy.
Yeah. And then the show I did around the world for free, Alex and Burton created that show and produced it with Lisa Hennessy, who produced The Biggest Loser.
Yes, and Survivor.
And Survivor.
And Survivor. And then they introduced us. Speaking of Mikey B, then Erica was on Amazing Race.
Erica
and we knew her.
Poverty.
And Poverty.
Did season 3. If you guys all know, if you watch reality TV, you know Poverty for sure. Like Survivor All-Star, Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
She's on everything. Traders. But she did season 3 of Around the World for free.
But it was just this, with Poverty, I didn't really know her that well. You and everybody else kind of knew her more than me. But it was just like this crew, and everybody just knew everyone. Everybody was just so fun and kind, and everybody just got along, and it was just like a really good group, and it just kept spreading. I feel like everybody would be like, oh, this person's from this show, and everybody would just, I don't know, there was no drama. Everybody just hung out and just had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And back in the day, it was just different. I mean,
it wasn't competition with people.
Well, no. And it was remember Amazing Race? Now corporate doesn't have big money to spend on all that stuff in advertising, or at least where I'm at in my career. Maybe they still do that. I don't think they do. But remember we went to Amazing Race, what was it, the 20-year reunion? And everybody, all the teams were there. You remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And it was this big party, and if you were on Amazing Race, you went there.
Yes.
Where was that?
That was in Miami.
Yeah, so we flew there.
Oh my goodness, you guys. How old was I? 23.
When was that? I don't know. Was it the 20-year reunion? I don't even know.
It was
I'm just making that up. It was some
20th
reunion.
anniversary.
Right.
And then they took a photo with everybody. It was on this tent on the beach. It was so fun. And I remember I went outside, I had to pee, and I just walked right out of the tent on the beach, and I just popped a squat.
I do remember that.
And
you
I
were
was
feeling
drunk.
good.
Oh, I was drunk. And then I tell Jeff, we stayed. So they told all of us to stay at Lowe's Hotel. And I didn't know what Lowe's Hotel was. I didn't know it was this nice hotel. And Jeff and I were going down to the beach, or not down to the beach. We're going down to, sorry, it made me think of something. One of the nights, Jeff and I were going down to the pool, and I go, Jeff, I have $80 cash on me. You think that's enough? And Jeff goes, that's plenty. And we go down to the pool, and you and I order 2 fish bowls. It was like fishbowl drinks.
We ordered a fishbowl?
It was like a fishbowl drink. It was like round.
Okay.
And they were, I think it was $60.
A piece?
No, $60 for both of us. So it was 30 a piece.
Again, this was a while back.
Yeah. And I told Jeff, I go, okay, well, there went my $80. And I was like, okay, we got to go to an ATM and get more money. And then Jeff didn't bring, I mean, y'all aren't going to think this is funny. Jeff didn't bring your sunglasses.
I was just going to say, is that the same trip where I was blind on the beach? Blind. I couldn't see. I had my eyes, I don't know what it was. I had LASIK or my eyes were blue. The beach is so bright and white sand. I literally couldn't see. I was like blinded by the light, literally.
It's all I kept hearing. Like, he was like, I got to go get glasses. I can't see.
I totally remember that. When I think of Miami, I think of me being blind on the beach.
And I kept giving Jeff my glasses, and we kept alternating, and then I couldn't see because it was so bright. And now
yeah, I totally remember that.
I don't know where you went though. I feel like you got glasses from some random.
I think I was looking for them. I think I found some cheap ones. And you found
something from some random. And you were wearing like these awful sunglasses that
I do remember that.
And then it was so hot.
That was the day after the party though. So we were like hungover and all that too.
Oh my gosh. And then what else? Oh, and then Jeff and I leave the party, and we had way too much to drink, and we're walking down on that strip. And remember, we end up at a pizza place, and we're just sitting on these bar stools.
But those are the
with
best.
Strangers, and we're just talking, and we're drunk, and Dan Patrick's comedy show was on.
Wow, you really got a detailed memory.
And it was just so random. And I remember like just shoving pizza in my face, and I was like, I don't think Miami's for me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Miami either. But I don't know. It's
not me. Miami
we didn't do it like right, but it's just not my.
We're not Miami people. We're not Versace.
It's not my jam. You know what? Why didn't we go to the Versace house? He might have not even been dead yet.
No.
He was?
Yeah.
Why didn't we go to the house? It's right there on the beach.
Because you and I don't know. We were like, let's go to the pool and get drunk.
The sand was too hot. And I couldn't see. We might have been staying at the Versace house. I couldn't see.
Oh my God. But that was like good memories. That was like fun.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. We need to do more trips like that.
But that was
before
pre-kids. Yeah.
When you could Jeff and I would get an Uber, just wander.
Those were the best.
And find strangers and try to get in deep combos.
You know what?
With strangers.
Let's take a quick break, and we're going to tell you guys since we're talking about funny stories, I got a random funny story. And this was when we were in Santa Monica. So stay tuned. When was the last time you went to the doctor and needed to push it off? Our family goes in waves, and it seems once one person gets sick, the other person gets sick, and everybody gets sick.
I get taken down.
Right. But usually, if we're not on that train, we always have excuses. I'm too busy. I don't need the help. I don't know which doctor to go to. All those things that everybody goes through when they're feeling sick or a member of their family is feeling sick.
Well, I'm here to tell you that we don't settle anymore when it comes to finding the right doctor.
That's right. I think we've all been there. Like I just said, booking a doctor appointment can just feel so daunting, but thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. Let me do it again. They make it so easy to find a doctor that's right for you.
With ZocDoc, you got options. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors from across all specialties, from mental health, dental health, primary care, urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients.
Did you read that ZocDoc is free?
No. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit.
That's right. And ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book your appointment.
Appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/togetherness to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/togetherness. ZocDoc.com/togetherness.
Welcome back. Since we're just bringing up old things and pulling it out of the box, remember the best day when it was me, you, and our friend Scotty?
Oh.
All right, so you could start off and walk us through going in that club. Oh my God. I've totally forgot about this story. I don't even know what reminded me of it, but this is what a fun day.
So wait, why were we drinking? Something happened.
Wait, weren't we filming something? Like, didn't we have to do an ad for something? And we were by Kelly's pool, right?
Uh-huh.
And then we went, was that right? And then we went down, or no, Scotty got a free room down there because he got in a car accident.
They took it. The valet wrecked his car.
Yeah, he got in a car. Was that the same night? We might be mixing up stories.
We're messing up stories. Okay, so for whatever reason, I mean, Jeff and I, there was something.
I thought
you were depressed about something, I felt like, and we were trying to cheer you up. And so me, Jeff, and Scotty, it was like three musketeers. We were always together, always like doing stuff. Scotty just would always come over our apartment. Jeff and Scotty would be sitting Indian style, smoking ciggies, or somebody was smoking weed. And we were just, I was always drunk, and we were just getting in deep combos. And Scotty.
I don't even remember the whole day. We drank a lot.
You gotta get big. You gotta get big, Jordan. Or Jeff would always just be like, I just want this job. And we would always just get in these drunk conversations and play Uno. There was always something random going on. Or we would walk down the street and go get street tacos. And it was always just fun.
So we ended up going, what's it called? Not the...
The Shangri-La.
Shangri-La.
Because Scotty had lived in the Shangri-La for whatever reason. I don't know why he had lived there.
But what's the other bar across from Shangri-La? The hotel.
That was oh my gosh.
But that's where we were with the tree in front.
Yeah, like Britney Spears stayed there.
Yeah.
It was like
Riley, you know what we're talking about? There's a beach club down there.
It used to be the hot spot. It's
right on Ocean Boulevard. Yeah, the bungalow. Right on Ocean Boulevard.
So we go down there. We're at Shangri-La, just sitting by the pool. Me, Jeff, and Scotty just drinking. And if you've met our friend Scotty, he's always in a baseball hat, t-shirt, nothing fancy. Jeff and I'm in my bathing suit and a cover up. Jeff is in a tank top and shorts.
But remember, Scotty's like, man, you got to get these Hawaii drinks. Remember, they're making the blender drinks?
Yes.
And we were drinking those blender drinks and got hammered.
And I was putting flowers in my hair.
So we're drinking during the day, just having fun, trying to cheer ourselves up. I forgot what's going on. And then this place turns into like a real hot spot at night. Bungalow. Yeah. And it's hard to get in, and they don't let everybody in. It's like, typical like beach bar.
Who worked with Jeff at CBS.com was there with her friends. And Danny at the time, she was 21? She was a lot younger. So Danny was there with her friends. That's how we got in.
Okay.
And then my friend's sister, I call her sister, and she was there with all her girlfriends.
But day has turned into night at this point.
Yes.
Except we're still in swim trunks and a tank top.
Jeff's in like these flip-flops that have a beer opener. We just look like white trash walking in there, and we don't even care.
Yeah, we didn't belong there at all.
So Scotty just walks up to the front trying to talk his way in, and then got rude with the girl, and it was Danny's friend.
Yeah.
And she's like, y'all aren't getting in.
So we go back to the bar, I think you guys got in. We go back to the bar where they make these blender drinks. We called it like Hawaii. And Scotty there's like this blueberry and we're drunk. And for some reason, he just threw it at me and it just hit my chest and rolled down. So I have a white tank top on with a big blueberry mark rolled down it. And I was like, dude, why'd you do that? We're supposed to go back in that bar. Already making a scene. Now I have blueberries all over my shirt. So instead of just letting it go, I grabbed all these blueberries and we turned around. I smashed them on his back. So he had blueberries all over his shirt. And then we go back to the bungalow to try to get back in. We have blueberries all over us.
No, so Jeff is trying to find me.
Oh my God.
Jeff kept texting me because I was like, where are you? And Jeff goes, I'm in Hawaii. And I'm like, oh, Hawaii? And she goes, yeah, me and Scotty are in the Hawaii spot.
Yeah. I hope you guys don't understand. I think you had to be there for this story.
And so I'm with my friend sister, and she's with all her friends who are like really hot. Some are playmates, like Playboy models. Some are just like hot models, and they're all dressed up. And then here I walk. I had no makeup on. I look like how I did now, my bathing suit. And they were so sweet to me. Like they were like, sit down. And we were all just hanging out. And all of a sudden I see Jeff and Scotty. This is how they look. Everybody just
What? Oh, what?
Jeff is walking this way. Scotty's walking this way. And then y'all are like, everybody's just crossing, and I'm like, what is going on? Where are they? And then I go, Jeff, why do you have blueberries on your shirt? Jeff goes, I've been in Hawaii.
Dude, no one can even understand you.
And then Scotty comes by.
But he didn't know he had blueberries on his back.
He had blueberries. And then they were all over his back. So he was hitting on this girl. And she goes, oh, I'm allergic.
For real?
Because he goes, he was trying to like hit on her. And he had all these blue like stains on his back. And she goes, oh, I'm allergic.
Oh my God. It's good to laugh like that. That was a fun day. I don't remember exactly,
that was
but that was
most fun.
That was a fun day.
We had, and then I think after all, then we ended up just getting together and leaving.
Oh yeah.
And then we ended up back at our apartment.
Eating probably street tacos.
Yeah. It was like so much fun. And then we were dying the next day.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry if that didn't make any sense. But
no,
I'm just
it probably
visualizing.
Doesn't make any sense. Me too.
No, it probably doesn't make any sense. But I'm just visualizing you and Scotty. But I mean, I've talked to my friend's sister. She actually lives in Aspen, and last time she was here was like a year ago, I think. She's like, we lived there in the golden years.
Yeah, it was the best.
It's not even like that anymore. Jeff and I were, this was like when I was like, I'm going back to North Carolina. I'm not happy here. And remember when I was like, I'm not happy with the way this relationship's going and all this. And then you and I just ended up at Big Dean's. It's this bar right on the beach.
In Santa Monica, yeah.
And the winner of Big Brother won.
Mm-hmm.
He was the door guy.
That's right.
And Jeff and I were at Big Dean's for how long? 5 hours, I think. You and I were there.
Yeah, maybe.
It was, and then, yeah, we just had so much fun.
Again, this is all PC
before kids.
Or pre-kids or pre-children. Screwed that all up. But the best times were like, I don't know why. Even I remember the first time I lived in LA, me and my buddy Donovan, we were just sitting at work and we're like, we have no money. And we're like, dude, how much money you got? And he's like, I don't know, like $30. I'm like, dude, I think I got like $25. I'm like, let's go put on suits. I think he might have said that. Let's go down, put on suits and we'll go to Beverly Hills Hotel for a beer. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So we had some beers, went to the Beverly Hills Hotel, ordered 2 beers, and they're like $50. And we're like, that's it for us. And then we just went there in suits.
You know what,
But it
though?
was like, those are like the best times. You know what I mean? Like when you have no money and I don't know, I remembered that time and remember that little seafood place down Santa Monica.
Oh, that we would always go to.
That we'd always go to.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't have any money, but sometimes you just.
No, but that's like what it's about. I feel like that's our crew here, we have a small crew that we run with here in where we live. And I feel like they are the same. They are that type. They don't have to get their hair done. They'd be like, let's go. And if we're having drinks, they just throw their hair up, throw on some Ugg boots, just like what we were doing down at the beach. And that's like our type of people, you know?
Yeah.
Not getting all fancy. It's not about that. It's not about it's just about your company and the people that you're with and just having fun. And you don't have to go fancy things it's just doing silly stuff and it's fun. Like we look like this sitting on our driveway all the time with our neighbors. Jacqueline comes out in her Ugg boots and like her reclining chair and her Fireball and her drinks. And I'm like, that's just like our people, you know?
Jacqueline on the spot there.
No, Jacqueline's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. Good times. I needed a laugh. So
but those are the best memories.
That was fun. That was fun to remember some of those stories. Yes. I love making memories. And we had some good ones.
All right, read your quote.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's wrap this up. We said this is a part 2 to the episode, and there was nothing part 2 about it. We just went on a tear about all of our drunken pre-kid stories. All right, let's see if this one relates.
We got a lot more.
We got a lot more. We had good times. All right, adversity causes some men to break, others to break records.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for continuing to listen, download, subscribe, telling your friends, togetherness.com. Thank you for all your phone calls, your questions, everything you send in. And we will see you guys next time. And we love y'all. Bye.
Yay Media Group.